Welcome to another episode of Comadreando podcast. I'm your host, Marcy. And today we have an amazing guest. One of our ride or dies from day one, La Puchi. And I will let her introduce herself. Who are you?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm Puchi. I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx. Here, holla. And I'm also Dominican, from Dominican descent. I'm currently living in Florida, but I am a ride or die for New York. Everyone asks me, "You from New York?" Yes, I am from the Boogie Down Bronx. So I'm so happy to be here today. This means the world to me because I just want to be, before we start, I just want to give you your flowers and congratulate you for being an amazing mom because you're a super duper mom. You know, I tell all my moms that are blessed to have children with autism that you were chosen for a reason. And you're beautiful, and I just wanted to tell you that. So it's an honor to be here, and I love you and your
Thank
son.
you.
And yeah, you have a great platform, so I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. So, like I said, Puchi's one of our ride or dies from like day one. Like she started following the podcast account and listening to the show, and I'm just like, who is this amazing woman? And that she like literally comments on every post, like reshares the videos, shares the advertisements, which I love. And that's how we connected. And I know that she's connected also with Eury, one of our previous guests, and also Comadre of the show. So now she's gonna become a comadre.
Awesome.
And the best thing, today's topic, it relates to Pride Month, right? We're in June and it's Pride Month, and we're talking about inclusivity in general in the world, right? But I want to focus on those people with disabilities who happen to also the intersectionality of um LGBTQIA plus community, right? So a lot of our children on the spectrum, believe it or not, are actually more gender fluid and more sexually fluid than neurotypical people. And we're going to get into why that is, but I feel like they're more free with who they are and they're more open about who they are themselves, so they don't have those hangups that we do as neurotypical people.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about that intersectionality between queerness and having a disability as well. And also we're going to discuss about how to become better advocates for our children and for our friends and family members, or, you know, nieces and nephews that have disabilities and then also happen to be queer. But before we get into the topic, let's get into the minute details. So Puchi, tell us, what is your profession?
Well, my profession, this July makes 23 years and a little plus of my teaching experience in the state of New York and here in Florida. I went to Mercy College for my bachelor's in elementary and behavioral science. And my best friend, Carrie, who she's still my best friend to this day, shout out to Carrie. She told me one day, hey, let's go job hunting. And it was to become paraprofessionals. I had no idea, like I didn't know anything about that or anything. And when we went to for the jobs, they told me, oh, we don't have any positions left for regular ed. We only have, at that time it was in New York, was special education. And I said, okay, that's fine. I think I'm special. So, you know, that's fine with me. And I fell in love. I felt like I was exactly where I needed to be. And I couldn't explain it then, but I could explain it now. You know, so many people, you know, relatives and friends, people that I know, because I taught regular education, and then I decided to specialize in autism. And they would tell me like, but why would you want to do that? And we know, and don't do that. And, but, you know, and I said, but what do you mean? Like, why wouldn't I? I didn't see a difference. I never saw that. I guess because I always saw myself in the kids. And I think being different is a good thing. I've always felt different, you know. And obviously autism is totally a different, a different world, but it's similar, feeling left out, being an outcast, not being invited to play, or having social anxiety and not being able to be social. It doesn't, the things that they go through, we all go through as human beings. That's why I don't like the word disabled. I prefer differently abled, because we are all differently able to do things in our own unique way. So I think I was just blessed to be an ESC teacher. I became an ESC teacher because that's what it is now. And I love it. Unfortunately, I am not in the classroom anymore. Due to a diagnosis. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which is a chronic pain disease. And that enables me to be in the classroom as active as I was before. Yeah. But I will always continue my advocacy for my students, for my kids, for my own. I mean, I have adult kids. I have, my youngest is going to be 12 years old next week. And he has an IEP for speech. So I can relate with not only just as a mom, as a teacher, and as a human, everything that's going on. And I do believe that the world definitely needs to be more inclusive, because that's how it should be.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that, like, first of all, you advocated for the fact that you made a choice to work with kids that were on the spectrum and that were special needs, and you didn't see them as other, because that is the biggest part of society in general, is that they want to ostracize people and create this, like, there's a lot of divisiveness. They want to create this separation between, quote unquote, normal people, right? Which there's no such thing as normal.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They want to create this divide between neurotypical people and, like, people that are not seen as the norm, which is ridiculous, because, like, everybody's different. Everybody has a little quirk, a little something different. I'm not going to say everybody's autistic, because that's false. However, we all have our little unique things about us that make us special.
Absolutely. It could be genetics. It could be from generational, passed down. It can be environmental. It's so many elements. It's not just one single thing. It could be financial. Financial is a big factor also in where you go to school, where you're getting your education, and who you're from. All of that plays. And especially if you're from where I was born and grew up in the Bronx and got into, a lot of those things weren't discussed. They weren't open about it. They didn't, they did hide it, and they kind of like shun it. But no, I think it's time that we start letting it out and including everyone. And I think the reason why, when people ask me, like, well, why do you don't want to stay with regular ed? I'm like, what? First of all, what is that? Like, what are you talking about? There's no such thing anymore, because all of these kids, was too many kids in the classroom. But but they all learn differently. They all are coming with different things that are happening, and we're not all the same.
Yeah.
Different households, different family members, different family structures and traditions. That also plays a big part.
And different learning styles.
Exactly.
I'm a visual. I told this to everybody. I'm a visual learner. Like, if you want me to really learn something, I need to watch you doing it. I need to do it myself as you're doing it, so that I can remember. If I don't do it, if I just listen to you, like, talk at me and tell me, I'm not going to learn anything. So there's, like, different learning styles, and there's multiple intelligences as well. Just because a kid is not smart in math or English does not mean that they're not an intelligent person. There's like a multiple intelligences that can be had. Like, they can be really smart with plants. They can be really good with dancing or like kinesthetic movement. So, everybody's different in a different way, or musical. Like my son can carry a tune ever since he was the age of what? 2?
I believe you.
He's just a musical person. Like, he's very, very musical. He can carry a tune. He hears it. He remembers it, and he can, like, sing it back to you.
That's
so amazing. Like, and that's a gift. So everybody's different, and we definitely need to be, like, advocating more for our kids, and, like, making space for them, and holding space in order for them to feel safe to express themselves in their most genuine, most real self that they are.
Self, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up because, like, I remember, like, my second daughter, I have 3 children. Isabel next week will be 23, God willing. Emily is my middle daughter. She'll be 21, God willing, next week. And my son, Matthew Jr., is going to be 12, God willing, next week, July 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Girl, you have, wait. You have all these cancers in your house?
Yes.
No
My husband's a Cancer
way.
too. His
No
birthday is
way.
July 11th. Yeah, I'm the only Virgo, so ya tú sabes cómo están estos cangrejos aquí, así, mira, así, and sensitive and all of that. But I love them. Son unos amores. I
No,
love
but
them.
when
I love
they love hard, bro.
hard.
They will like gut
Ride or die.
somebody like a fish for you. Like they don't play about the people they love.
Yeah, and I love them. I love them to pieces, and they are, shout out to them because they are the team that puts everything together behind the scenes, including myself. But my daughter, Emily was born with verbal apraxia, and and I know that's like a big weird word, but for those that don't know, is when we have a baby, we give birth during birth, and they do hearing tests on the babies to make sure. Well, my daughter didn't pass the hearing test. She was born in 2002. So imagínate, yo te voy a poner como una película, mira. My family is Dominican. I'm first generation American. So I'm dealing with la tía, mi madrina Mayra, todas esas mujeres, while I'm waiting for the results for my daughter. The girl who was giving me the results lived in the same building that I lived in. So ya tú sabes, el building entero estaba ahí, eso era una cosa de loco. Pues sí, when she came to give me the results from my daughter's test, this was the second test. She failed the first one at birth, and then I had to take her back the next day. And she told me she passed. But as mothers, we have an intuition of our kids. Like nobody knows our kids like we know our kids. Something told me, like in the bottom, like in the pit of my stomach, because of the look in her eyes, like that she was lying to me. Like,
oh man,
I always stood with that. Like I stood, like she said, yeah, she passed, but I felt like she was pressured because all my aunts were there. We were waiting. Like, mira, ¿qué es lo que está pasando? Like HIPAA violation all over the place. But
oh my God,
that was a different time, than now, whatever. But the point is, my daughter couldn't hear.
Oh my gosh.
So she needed speech intervention from 2 years old. And one of the signs of that is sounds and cooing. When they're babies, all those sounds that we also
babbling.
Yes, that we also use for children that are nonverbal. That's also something, or developmentally delayed. Those are some of the things that we look for when we're as teachers, making observations and what the child needs and stuff like that. But I never realized because she understood, like, she never showed anything like she didn't understand what was going on, or I would talk to her fine and she would. And until I realized that we were talking to her, yes, but I was at one point, she was just talking like this, like, oh, but we understood her because we're her family, like my mom, my dad, who helped me raise my husband. We understood, but it was no sound. It was until
so she was like basically like kind of like miming in a way.
Yes, but no sounds. She never.
Yeah,
I never
when
heard,
you mime, you're just like doing gestures and like
pointing, right?
And pointing, just, yeah, got it.
And like, and are you hungry? You want this? Stuff like that. But 2 kids, young moms, working. I'm like, is a lot going on. And
wait, so she had. So I just want to clarify for the comadre. So she had receptive language. She just didn't have expressive in the sense that words were coming out. However, she was using gestures to communicate with you guys.
To communicate, yes.
Got it.
So that was enough for us because as a family, like, oh, it was okay because we were able to communicate. But there was a point, like, it hit me as a mom. There was a moment, I would never forget that. I was in the kitchen and I was almost like using sign language to communicating with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped and I said to myself, why am I communicating? I went online. That's when Google things just started at that time.
Mm-hmm,
and all the, when you read all the, like, what your child should milestones at that age with the sound, she read like flying. I was like, oh my God. So I, right then and there, early steps here in Florida is called early steps, like their early child intervention. They tested her. I got on, like, because my mom the whole time, ay, no te preocupes. Tu hermano, this is what I'm talking about, the generational and
oh my God.
How sometimes we have to, intervene with the older, and to
generation.
Exactly. Like, okay, this worked for you guys at your time, but this is not for my child. This is not going to work for us.
No.
I can't. So my mom me decía, no, mira tu hermano duró muchísimo sin hablar, mira, está hablando.
That's not normal.
It's not, exactly. Oh, y mira fulana, y ese fulano duró, ¿cuánto duró sin hablar? Y mira, él está hablando lo más bien, mira, está hablando. So right there, I was like, no. And what happened was, she couldn't hear. When they tested her, she would hear like this, like, like Charlie Brown.
Oh my God.
She couldn't hear us because she has so much fluid, and so she had to have surgeries in her ears and stuff like that. Like, if your kids suffer as babies a lot from ear infection, that's also a sign to keep important to keep, an eye on that. And so, so she went to intensive, not only speech outside, but also I was able to get her in school earlier for early intervention. That's why I'm like pushing it, like, parents that you have babies and you have to be from birth, because look at that. That's something that maybe a lot of people not really pay, like, they don't really pay attention to hearing tests. Like, oh, mira, if you didn't know now, that's very important, because if your child doesn't pass the hearing test, it happened to me again with my son, but he wasn't as severe. So since I had the experience with my daughter, I didn't wait as long. I went 6 months. I was in the pediatrician, like, you need to write me a letter and write this, that I already knew everything, what I needed. And so for parents out there, be very vigilant from birth, from when you're carrying. Reading to them is important. Music, talking to them, all of that is important.
Yeah. One of my friends who's a speech pathologist, she was on, like, I want to say like a year ago. Yeah, Angie, she basically advised the comadres to, like, continue, like, they're babies, but they're absorbing they're little sponges. They're listening to everything you're saying to them, especially that reading to them. That's so essential. First of all, that builds a bond with your child. Absolutely. And it's building vocabulary. So even though they can't repeat it back to you at that moment, but later on, they're gonna know that word. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so important that all goes hand in hand, like the speaking and the reading. Because the more you read to them, the bigger their vocabulary is gonna be. And then once they do start talking, they're just gonna be like, they're just gonna take off and keep going. Like, you're gonna have to ask them to be quiet. Like,
exactly. Oh, she won't be quiet. Oh my God. She and God bless her. Like I said, she's amazing. She's also an advocate. She helped me set up all this stuff. She's the mastermind behind La Puchi. Let me just tell everybody that. But she's amazing. You would never think, but that's early intervention. Just the parents from early, read to them. We as parents cannot expect the school system or any school or anyone else to teach our children or for our children to learn. We are their first teachers. Yes. They mirror us. Our children are a reflection of us. So if you want to know what kind of person you are, look at your children. Because they mirror us first. We are their first teachers. They want to be like us. We have to open their sensories, all of them, not just the visual, the touching when they're babies. We don't want them to make a mess. Let them make a mess. It's okay. Yeah. Let them feel the texture. Let them feel different, things. It's okay. The mess could be cleaned up.
I mean, the caca smearing and the touching, that's
sí.
the absolute no.
No.
But everything else, let them get dirty. Let them touch.
Absolutely.
I remember there's people, what's it they say in Dominican Spanish? There's people that have the kids that they lo tienen como un cristal de Belén. They're like, ay, no, fulanito no se puede ensuciar. No, children are supposed to get dirty.
De bicuí, lo tienen de bicuí.
Yeah.
Ay, pero yo lo mandé a la escuela limpiecito. ¿Y qué pasó? Learning. It's called learning. Pain, having fun.
If your kid comes back from school, especially in pre-K, pristine, sis, they are not doing shit in that school. Absolutely. You need to go investigate.
Absolutely. Finally, a parent that gets it. Thank you. Thank you.
No, because let me tell you, Mira, I used to come back from school.
But it's the truth.
My mom used to get so mad. Mind you, my mom's a teacher. I used to come back from school. She used to send me with my hair like done, like, my little moñitos and the braids. And with my uniform pressed and clean, like pristine. Yo parecía que I was in the jungle hunting for like a wild animal. I came back with my hair all crazy, looking like the Statue of Liberty.
Me too,
and then it was like at the elementary school I went to, 189. It was like long sleeve shirt, blanco. Yo, it was the color of this black hair tie. Literally, my mom's like, "What are you doing? Are you writing with your hands? I mean, with your wrist?" I'm like, "No, mom, I'm just writing. Like, what do you want me to do?" Like, and then like, I remember there was other kids that the parents le tenían un trauma ya. Like, it was really bad. The kids couldn't do anything. They're like, "Ay, no, mami se va a poner guapa." I don't care. Like, you need to let your kids get dirty. That's the way that they learn. They're sensory beings.
Absolutely. And everything could be a teaching moment, like when they're learning foods, and that way they can explore and have different options and not just eat the same thing, and and explore, and that's okay. And they don't like something, okay, but at least they tried it. At least you tried it one time.
And then especially your kids on the spectrum, if they want to try something, let them try it. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, don't force them, because that's going to create food trauma, but like, encourage it, let them touch it, let them smell it, let them feel it with their hands, step by step. Don't do anything like all of a sudden, like, boom, hartate de todo. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
but
that fast.
Yeah, go ahead. So yeah, I love that, Puchi. What was I gonna say? So, what was it that made you pursue that career? Like, what was it about working with the kids with special needs that kind of just like really touched your heart when you met them? Because I know you didn't make the decision before you actually went into the classroom. So what was it in the classroom that you saw that you were like?
It was like, I don't know, like my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Porque ella sufría del corazón. She always had like a health problem. And I was a rainbow baby, a rainbow and surprise, because my mom had me older. She was an older, like I was like surprised. She thought she was in menopause. I know, yo estoy aquí. Llegó Juanita y dijo que no volvía. So I came. So my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and there were moms that had children with special needs. My mom was known for like having like a gentle touch and caring for kids. So my mom would care for a lot of children with different special
abilities.
Yeah. So it was normal. It was nothing different for me. It was just caring for someone. And I just love caring for people. That's just the way I am. But then
that's a Virgo.
That's just a Virgo.
That's how we are.
I could be a mess, but I'll help the whole world.
Nurturing. We're so nurturing. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, like for me to help you. Like I don't want to help myself. Let me help. How can I serve you? So growing up me decían, no, porque Johanna's ya me dijo el government name, pero está bien, si por acaso me están buscando. La Puchi no, porque la Puchi es muy bruta. Ella no puede ser maestra. No, que la Puchi, this is my like growing up. No, that she's not, she's not this. So everyone had an opinion of what I can or shouldn't. Like, growing up was really weird for me.
That's so fucking rude.
Yeah, so I was always told like what I couldn't do, never what I could do good or what I was good at, but always what I couldn't do. Like, tú no puedes hacer math porque tú eres bruta. No, porque tú la matemática tú eres floja. Que si yo creo que patatín que si esto. But then,
whatever.
Once you turn 18, this is different. I moved out of the block. I, grew up because yo me crié con mi familia entera in the building.
Mm-hmm.
My step grandfather was the super. My grandmother was his wife. So ya tú sabes, in each floor, I had a family member, aunts, uncle, the whole family from DR.
Yeah.
And all my cousins. So once my parents moved, we moved to Castle Hill and Parkchester. Like, I just, try to find my own. Like, all the things they told me that I couldn't do, that's literally my whole life. That's what I'm doing. So teaching was one of them. So when I went with my friend, like I said, I became a paraprofessional. I just fell in love. I love children. I just love what children and animals is easier than adult humans because they just love you for who you are. Like, they just want to play and have fun. And they only see beauty. They don't
and
see.
they don't have a motivation. There's no ulterior motive.
Exactly. And myself, due to, past childhood trauma and stuff, like, I have trust issues and stuff. So now, through mental health and all that, I realized that I just like to be around a certain type of energy, a certain type of that feeling, So children and animals give me peace, and elderly people. I'd rather be with viejito. Es el coro mío. Yo prefiero estar con unos viejitos, tranquila, hablándole, rezando con ellos, que tal, y que I'm not, So when I started as a para, I said to myself, I like this. I don't know how, like, I never saw how far, believe me, because I am math dyslexic. So for everybody out there that there's hope for you, because look, I got a master's degree and I'm still trying to get my PhD.
You have which math dyslexia? Dyscalculia, or like you invert the numbers?
No, todavía, no, que yo me pongo mala, yo me paniqueo, yo me desmayo, yo veo números y comienzan a brincar, a bailar.
Okay, so you have the classic dyslexia. Is that the numbers flip around for you when you look at them?
Yeah, I'm not interested in numbers. I'm the other side of the brain. So for you people out there, it's okay. That means I'm very creative. I like singing. I write songs. I dance. That's my gifts.
Yeah.
So I use that side of the brain. So my senior year in college, I was married. I was pregnant with my first baby. So it just felt like the normal thing to do. I'm already in the school system.
Yeah.
And I was making, oh my God, New York pays so well. I was making amazing money, at young.
As a para?
At that time, yeah, as a from a para to
as a teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
To start out, I was like, whoa, okay, all right. Back then, no te digo ahora. I'm just saying at that time, I was like, oh, I could live, I could live a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just kept going. Even though it was regular ed, once I started teaching, I knew eventually, because I had students that still had different needs.
Yeah.
And that's when I come in. I didn't need, maybe at the time when I was starting early in my career, I didn't know exactly the things that I was doing, what they were called, and the labels and everything. Mm-hmm. But I just knew that they were kids, that came from Santo Domingo, that didn't speak English, that I needed. Okay, so that was a whole thing in itself. Because to be honest with you, in my situation, there's no such thing as training. You don't get training as a teacher. They don't train. That's a lie. There's no.
I tell everybody this is very what is it? It's very superficial, the training that you get as a teacher. Like, you learn theory, but the majority of your learning is in the classroom. Like, it's when you in the classroom with the kids.
Hands on. Is either sink or swim.
Girl.
You either survive or you don't. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is what you're meant to do. And I mean, there's different type of teachers. There's teachers that do get in because they real smart with tests and they pass tests and they just do it for the money. Let's keep it real. And they can care less. They just there to receive a paycheck. Mm-hmm. It is the truth. But there are teachers like myself that I
have a calling.
Exactly. And when it came, it's so funny because my husband, when I got caught to my first position as an ESE teacher, it was at a school that I started as a para. See, that's why in every school, anything that I do is a stage, acting, anything, I bring my best foot forward. You know, I bring love. I'm here in peace, God. I'm all good. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. So that way, porque tú uno nunca sabe. Like, you know, when you remember me, I hope you remember me in a positive, I put a smile on your face thing. And you just never know. So the same school was looking for a teacher. The teacher had quit. And they went through a lot of teachers. And I remember I needed a job real bad. You know, I was like, oh my God, oh my God. So I contacted them and everything. So the principal, she didn't remember me, but everyone else at the school did as a para. And they were like, yeah, give her a chance. You know, she even had given me a little recommendation when I left. She didn't remember. She just didn't remember, you know.
Oh my God.
And I remember the position was for ESC intensive pre-K. And their ages were going to be between 3 and 5. And at this point, I had my son, and you know, my kids and everything. So I told my husband, I don't think I'm worthy enough. Like, I was like, I was scared because I didn't want to fuck up. I'm going to be honest with you. Because I didn't see it as a teacher, I see it as a mom. As a parent, as a teacher, I would try to be the teacher that I want from my children. I treat all the students the way I want my own child, the way I wanted my daughter to be treated when she couldn't talk and she had needs and wants. And I didn't want her to be, you know, mistreated or abused or hit or, you know, just because she couldn't talk, you know, make her feel less than. So when as a teacher, I put my heart as a mom first. And I prayed, you know, and I asked my parents. At that time, my parents were alive, you know, and my parents were my best friends. You know, my parents were everything. I owe everything to my parents. Y yo, ay, papi, mami, ¿qué tú crees? Yo no creo. Dale, tú no sabes, you know, tú no vas a ver hasta que no trate. And my husband called the principal. He accepted the job for me. He was like, listen, she's going to be there next week. Don't worry about it. And I'm so grateful because he believed in me more than I believed in myself. Because like I said, I knew that I had more to learn. And as a teacher, I'm always learning. That's why I love being a student. Because as a student, I'm always learning. And as to be a teacher, I have to learn and be a student to be able to teach. So I'm grateful that he believed in me. And that position, let me tell you something, not to like brag or anything. But, you know, you ask around, they know who Miss V is, they know who Miss Velez is, they know my name in every school, especially in the ESC community, because I advocate not only for the kids, but for the parents, you know, for the kids, you know. I'm not there, definitely not when I was teaching here in Florida for the money, believe me, it's nothing like New York. And, but yeah, and I did a really great job. Like, I haven't said that out loud. Like, I did a phenomenal job. Like,
Thank you for saying that about yourself. Yes. Because the thing is, like, I mean, not only as Virgos, but as people of color, we like to second guess ourselves so much. Like, we know our fucking shit. Like, we know what we're doing. We know how to reach the children. We know how to reach the parents. And if I gotta get okay with these parents over here, I will get okay.
That's why we connected, because they saw me as I'm just like you. You know, when I would come to set up my classroom, my dad was the one with his handy tools and his martillo was the one that would help me set up.
God bless your dad in heaven. Yes,
rest in peace, papi. My daughters helped me set up. Like, yo soy una vaina in classroom setting up. Like, I love doing all of that. Like, and I love it and I miss it, you know. And I wanna something you said reminded me, like, I suffer from imposter syndrome. So it's kind of like I said, mental health is awesome, you know, trauma therapy is everything. So I've learned tools to like love myself and accept myself. And I think the kids related to me because they saw themselves in me, but I saw myself in them. You know, especially the ones that were struggling, the ones that were, you know, behind, especially in math. Like, listen, we're gonna learn this together. You know, sometimes I was honest with it, like, until we figure this out, we're gonna learn it together. And I always told them, especially like I worked in the schools, that no other teacher wanted to work at, especially when I worked in the Bronx. One of my interviews, literally, well, he was drunk, first of all, and he was the assistant principal. I'm not going to mention what school. That was many moons ago anyway. And he just showed me the address. He just slipped. He just slipped like that. He and slipped the address. Are you willing to work there? It was Webster Avenue, Fordham Road, by the way. What's up, everybody?
Okay.
I worked 2 years. I said, absolutely. I love Fordham Road. I shop there all the time. So, you know, I worked in schools that literally grown men would not take the position or whatever. But I'm from the Bronx. Like, are you serious? This is my people. Like, no.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy because I didn't even.
Sometimes the kids aren't that bad. It's the parents more than anything. If we're going to keep it 100, we're going to keep it a buck. A lot of the time it's the parents. It's not the kids.
Absolutely.
My aunt lives a little close to that area in the Bronx, and her son went to a junior high school, middle school around there, and I want to say like 3 months ago, somebody got shot, like a student coming out of the thing, and it's like, you know, like it wasn't another kid, it was like an adult that did it, and it's just like the shit that our kids have to deal with on a daily basis, like we need to be their safe space in the classroom.
Exactly. Environmental. And it's they can relate to teachers that come from their neighborhoods. Like, see, when I would talk to them, like the kids here in Florida, when I would talk, it's the first, you're from New York. Are you from New York? Are you from the Bronx? And forget it. They already know. Don't play. Yes, I am. Don't play. It's just
I get other people coming from other cultures to our neighborhoods to teach, but like, don't come with the savior syndrome.
Exactly.
Don't come with the savior syndrome. Exactly. Like, oh, the poor little poors, you know, all those little black and brown. Oh, I'm gonna take care of all them. Like, I get that, like wanting to help, but like, don't fucking treat them like you have to save them. You don't have to save them. You need to give them the tools so that they can save themselves.
Exactly. And not only that, help them love themselves and see themselves.
And see value in themselves.
Exactly. You know, everything that I felt like I was missing growing up, even though my parents gave me everything, like, oh my God, like they're the best. But there were a lot of things that were still, they're human, you know, they did the best they could with what
I remember. Yeah, they came from trauma. Also,
exactly.
We have generational trauma that has been passed down, and they haven't worked through that yet.
Exactly. So I saw a lot of the things that I was trying to heal or was having trouble with it within myself. That's what I was like drawn to with the kids. Those are the kids. It was always the ones like, you know, I never had an issue with classroom management. Like I never had it, you know, and you know, I'm not, you know, it is what it is. Like there's teachers that, you know, that matan ahí de bochinche, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? Mira lo que está haciendo la otra. Yo estoy ahí para trabajar con mi muchacho. I've done things with kids that they said wouldn't do. Like I've mainstreamed so many children on the spectrum.
They just need the support. They need the support. You can't like come into the classroom and be like, I know yo no pueden because they have a diagnosis. No. Okay, I tell this to the parents all the time. The kids need a diagnosis. Why? It opens more doors for you. You can knock everywhere and get the supports that they need, right? When they come into the classroom, the teacher's not going to treat them any differently. They're just going to know what bag of tricks they can use for your child, you know, or what some reactions can be like while they're getting to know them in that moment, right? And then the thing is that our goal is not to keep them in special education. Our goal is to like have them be so independent that they can function in a regular, like a typically developing classroom without as many supports. That is the goal of a special education teacher. Absolutely. My job is not to keep your kid in special ed or put them in a more restrictive environment.
Absolutely.
Eventually want them mainstream so that they can be a functional member of society independently in the future, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, that was like my fears, the reason why I was reluctant to take the position, it was like I felt like I still needed more, like to learn more. Like as a Virgo, it's like I need like all the information. You know, I felt like I needed to be like but I like, you know, like, no, I need more, learn more terms and more like, no. I just, my heart is in the right place.
Yes.
You know, and I approached it like I approach everything with my heart, you know, God, prayer, you know, and like I said, I had students, and I'm not even tooting my own horn. These are just testimonies. These kids are out there, the parents are out there that I have mainstream that they had told me they have children that have police called on them, that have been in psychiatric taken like things that, oh my gosh, and I come in and I'm like, okay, here we go, like here we go, and there's no formula. It's just, that's what I feel like, that's my gift.
Yeah,
I figured out, like, you know, that this was my
early
gift early on, yeah, and I feel like forever it's gonna be my gift to not only, I'm not in the classroom at the moment, but like I said, I want to continue, I want to pursue, I want to get my PhD.
I feel like at this point, like right now, because of the health issues, you can be a consultant, a behavioral consultant, or a special education consultant over there in Florida. I'm sure they need it because
I
God
think our
knows.
community, I think my community needs me more. Y la gente latina explicándole lo que es un IEP and how much is needed. My son has an IEP for other health issues. People are going to look at me like, what, OHI? It's not friendly, because first they have this stigma that you mentioned IEP. Oh, it's like if it's a bad thing. No, it's actually a good thing. I went out of my way to make sure, as my health was declining and I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of saw myself kind of like, this is going to end soon for me. Like, I'm not going to be in, you know, in the system itself, you know?
Got it.
So I had to make moves, because I had to make sure that my son, you know, gets the education and the help that he needed. Yeah. And I made sure, you know, first it was speech, but now it's through his health issues. He has chronic asthma, you know. So with the whole pandemic thing and all that, I use that to my advantage then to eventually get him homeschool. And now he's going to school online. But that was a choice and something that works for me and for us as a family, you know. But I've had parents that their child needed the help and needed the services. And because they didn't understand, o porque la vecina le dijo, no lo haga, mira, eso van a decir, you know, and but all the family members, ¿qué? Oh, y mire, y tu hermano, ustedes necesitaban, y ustedes también, ustedes no están enteritos, tú no necesitas nada de eso. And it's like, wait a minute, but if don't we all go to the doctor?
Listen, I like, I ended up doing genetic testing, right? I ended up doing genetic testing for me and my son because I just want to know. Right. I want to know if it's genetic. I want to know if it comes from my side of the family or his that side of the family. It ended up not being genetic, right? But then, like, when I was initially going for that, a lot of family members are like, ¿y para qué tú te vas a hacer esto? ¿Tú no tienes autismo? ¿Qué sé yo, qué sé yo cuánto? I was like, what the hell do you know? I know I went through a lot of difficulties, a lot of social anxieties and things like that when I was a little girl. Like, I would be so preoccupied with something that was going to happen the next day that I would literally lose sleep.
Same, mija, twins. Same,
and I'm just like, eso no es normal. That's not normal.
It's not normal.
Maybe I'm just like, you know, I have like high anxiety or something, but like it's better to know than to not know. Like now I know, it's like, check, not autism. Okay, keep looking.
Absolutely. No? I totally agree. And for a minute there, I thought I did too. And because I can blend in with the world and live happy, and you know, I'm good.
And for women, it's so easy for us to be undiagnosed with autism because we are so good at masking. It's crazy because of the dynamics, the social dynamics of women groups, especially growing up. You need to learn how to fucking adapt, or that's it. Like your life is like your social life is over because they're gonna keep bullying you or pushing you out of the friend group because you're the quote unquote weird one. Exactly. You know, and for us, for women, it's like really important to like belong and like be part of the group and not be like unpopular or whatever it is. At least in our generation.
Yeah, you know? I can totally relate. And then I imagine my mom was super strict, super Catholic, So the Catholic girl was always hanging out, tú sabes, ahí, con el crucifijo. Entonces, I went to Catholic school, escuela privada my whole life. So imagine this, the only one going to private school, Catholic school. As I in the building, in the block. Yeah, okay, I was
Oh
popular.
my God. Your parents
For
spent all
the
that
wrong
money?
reason. My father busted his ass in
I
a
don't know
factory.
why they like they think that is so. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm sorry. Some people do really well with that education, but like for the most part, hold on 1 second. Espérate. Let me tell you, I have some friends that went to Catholic school. They couldn't tell me that there was 50 states in the United States of America. My man.
I feel you.
Like,
no,
I don't know if it was that they
mira,
weren't paying
verdad,
attention in social studies class.
Es fact.
Pero,
No, es verdad. No, tú estás diciendo la verdad. Es
no,
la
and the
verdad que
mom busted her butt to pay for this private education.
I know.
But like, loca, como yo lo sé, and I was in a private, in a public school.
Te lo creo.
And you don't know that. Y no, loca. And they were arguing with me. And it was the brother and the sister. They went to the same school.
Y eso es lo malo, los dos están discutiendo.
And I'm like, how you don't know there's 50 states? Houseway? How? Google's free? Hello? Like, what?
Yeah. Mira, the whole thing, this is crazy because I keep saying I want to keep going. Like, my goal is to get my PhD because, again, people tell me I couldn't, like, I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. Y yo, cuando tú me dices que yo no puedo hacer una cosa, y más algo que es un deseo, porque no tampoco yo estoy aquí afuera doing stuff like, oh, really? I'm a skydive. Okay, no estamos en eso. But, like, things that I want to do that they like, oh, you can't do that. Wow.
You're like, watch me. Watch me and I send you pictures.
Bueno, está bien, and keep watching. Sigue filmando la movie. Entonces, but yeah, there are people out there like that. But that's people's insecurities and their thing because they're not doing it, or that's something they want to do, and because you're doing it, and they don't know how to kind of deal with that. Mm-hmm. So, pero imagínate, a Catholic school. My mom was super straight. I couldn't go outside. I was only ni mucho la ventana de tercer piso, so ya tú sabes. Okay? So de ahí yo me tiraba todos los bochinches de arriba. Ay, mira, fulana está con esa. Ay, mira, se dejaron. Oh, they're playing basketball, the boys are outside. Y como quiera me metí en bochinche. Siempre estaban here. They start talking to me. Nobody liked me. The girls didn't like me. I understand because I didn't. It's not that I'm antisocial or was rude or bitch. It's just I don't know how to say, hi, my name is, because I'm not allowed to speak.
My God. Yeah. Like, one thing my mom used to get mad at me, she used to be like, ¿Cómo que no sabe ni contestar un teléfono? I was like, you really don't let me talk to anybody. I don't know how to answer the phone.
You know, like, my mom was like super duper old school strict. So I wanted to play. I would have, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad. Porque, it kept me, I never was a follower. I was always a leader and I was always on my own. And por eso que yo estoy inventándome todo lo que yo estoy haciendo, la música, the teaching, school, going high and high and high, because yo me quedo focused on what I want to do. All the things that people said I couldn't do. And a lot of our kids, autism kids, or just kids, period, they get bullied and they tell you, you're not going to do this. A mí me dijeron, mira, the same teachers, mind you, my father busted his ass in a factory, Farberware. Do you have pots? You probably have something from Farberware, a spoon or whatever. Think of my dad. He worked there for over 30 years, busted his ass.
Oh yeah,
he should have been the supervisor, pero como no hablaba inglés, he got shortchanged, and the boss made all the money, but it was all my dad, the brains behind the factory.
Jesus Christ.
So I don't like school. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like being in school. I don't like the waking up early. If there was an award for somebody that was late the most and absent, that would be me. I accept. Thank you. I appreciate the award. Late but worth the wait. I had to thank my dad. My dad wasn't able to go to school. Mi papá es de Mao.
From Valverde Mao?
De Valverde Mao. La mamá era curandera. Healer. My grandmother was a healer. Y ella lo mandaba cuando era chiquito. Él tenía que ir a buscarle toda la planta. She used to use plants and stuff to heal and all that stuff. So she would send him. He couldn't go to school. Mi papá ni zapato tenía.
Oh my God.
He got his first pair of shoes because los misioneros, the missionaries, were like, do you believe in Jesus? And he was like, of course. And they're like, you wanted it? Yeah, you get shoes. And he's like, yes. So he couldn't go to school because he had to work. He had to help my grandmother.
Oh my God.
And so how can I not? Tell me, how can I repay this man? That gave me everything. Like literally, like I got 99 problems, but that daddy issues ain't one of them. That man, like I lived a fairy tale princess life. Everything I wanted, he gave me. So for me to thank him was to keep going to school and accomplish the things that he never got, that he wanted to accomplish. Again, very Virgo of me, accomplishing other people's dream. My mother wanted to live in Florida in a house. So I moved my family, again, like that's just how I am. I'm always like, how can I serve you? So that's why I'm so thinking of going back. I am going to go back to New York, and God is good. And I want to serve my community. I want to serve my people. Just like I can't help my parents no more because they're gone. I did everything as a daughter that I could do for them, that I was supposed to do. But I still have that drive in me to help people. It's the way my parents helped me. Is I can't do it for them, so I do it for other people. Like the Purple Hearts, when I put on Instagram and Facebook, that's for fibromyalgia. I'm in pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I spent 3 weeks in bed with, I'm not can disclose for reasons, but pain. It was chronic pain issues that I was going through.
Wow.
And I couldn't get up. I couldn't do anything for myself. My family had to take care for me. But I'm always supporting because I love when people follow their dreams. Like when I see you, I'm like your biggest fan. I'm like, you're amazing. And I used to, because all moms, all mothers, all parents of children with autism, you guys were extra special. And I always told them that, like in parent-teacher conference, I would say, you're very special. You know that God picked you for a reason, because this is bigger than just get labels. And I could be here for days. We could talk about a whole bunch of stuff, intervention, todo eso. But all I can say is, if you don't have an open heart with love, then don't bother. Don't bother. This is about love.
Yeah.
This is about close your eyes and just love. Just love and have fun and enjoy. And we learn different. Some of us are loud. Some of us are quiet. Some of us are timid. Is okay. We were all the same. That would be so boring and whack.
That was so
oh my gosh,
that would be so fucking boring. Like all the Marcy's, like I love myself obviously, but like I like a little spice. I like a little difference. I like to learn everybody's different quirks and like things that they're into. Like hello. Like that's what makes the spice of life. That's what makes life interesting and worth living, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? It's in life, that's why it's called the present. It's a gift. And it's only a one-time thing. And if we would invest it in just pursuing our gifts, again, like I didn't realize my whole life is just really me just following my heart. Now is when I'm like finally like no, you were meant to be a teacher. You were meant to do this.
Yeah.
Like, because those are the people that I see I can relate to. I can sit down and I feel like it's not hard. It's easy. It's like breathing, and it's crazy because when I'm in society, whatever you want to, I'm like, oh my, tú me acuerdo lente, Madonna, mija, hija, me remember, ¿qué le pasó a esta? ¿Qué pasó? And you would think, she's a bitch, and then I have resting bitch face, so that doesn't help.
I have the same thing.
All.
Like when you first approach me, people see me, they're like, y esta perra. And then they get to know me and they're like, oh my God, you're so nice. I'm like,
una hedionda. But no, it's just, no, I'm really not. Honestly, it's just, I have a lot going on. And, but it's just like everything. And look, I relate more now, being diagnosed with anything at any age, but something that literally changes your whole life.
Yeah.
And now the things that I used to do and how I used to do them before. I can't do them like that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm differently able, and just accepting that and mourning my old self, and accepting my new self, and it's just seeing that God is, it's not over yet. I remember when the doctor told me, he's like, listen, use this time to really, really find what you truly love. Like, and I said to myself, something, because I'm like, what am I gonna do? I love the kids. Like everything was around the kids, and not only was I teaching, but my son was in the same school. Like, so it was, it was my whole, literally,
it was tough.
It was tough, So I was like, what am I gonna do? I love my job. What am I supposed to do now? Is what I've done. He's like, do what you find, follow your heart. And I remember, okay, so what did they tell me I couldn't do? Acting. Pues mira, I'm going to start my acting again, because I've always acted. In high school, there's always been part of my life. Singing, writing songs, songwriter, all that. So I just channeled, and I said to myself, I'm going to be in pain all the time, regardless of anything, because there's no cure, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
I can't be in the classroom. But at the same time, con todo lo que está pasando aquí en Florida, I think I said, déjame sacar esta de aquí a la Puchi, porque esta la botan. Esta no cualifica para quedarse aquí. But nobody's going to tell me I can't read a book. Que yo no, cue. Oh. So, that was my cue.
Girl, just like, mira.
That was my
I
cue.
know that New York is a little bit more progressive than Florida, but yo tiro mi surrapita ahí cuando yo estoy leyendo con los muchachos. We picked a book about, the name of the book is The Coquilles Still Sing. Los coquilles todavía cantan. And it's talking about Hurricane Maria and all that stuff, right? So it's like follows the family's journey through Hurricane Maria and how it was like a story of rebuilding and whatever. At the end, it tells about Puerto Rico, the relationship with the United States,
right?
What happened during Hurricane Maria, why they couldn't get the help. And for sure, I did not skip that part. I was like, bueno, déjame decirle de Puerto
Let's
Rico.
Begin. ¿Por dónde empezamos? Of course.
Yeah. Because like the students were like,
absolutely.
My students were like this. They did the face, the Rihanna face, and I was like, and that's not the end of it. And because no, we're not hiding. We're not okay. We're not pointing out the disparities in the United States to throw shit or like throw dirt on the name. The only way we can change is by shedding light on it and working on it. There's no way that we can make the society better if we don't address it and talk about the issues.
Absolutely.
We can't pretend that it's not there. No se puede tapar el sol con un dedo. We can't cover the sun with a finger.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, we can, like I said, we can be here for days talking about different topics, and it all comes down to two words: love, hate. You just pick which side. Because literally, when we believe in something, we stand behind issues, whatever, in whatever category, is de corazón. Like, no, I believe this. So are you here for love, or are you here with hate? Other. And like I said, that's something that's taught, the same, that's something, generational. That's something, the way we're working on breaking generational curses in our own families. That's the first thing we need to start, because we can't demand respect from anyone else until we respect each other. Until I love being Dominican. I wouldn't be anything else. If I could come back, I would be a Dominican again. I would be like, oh, but I would be born in the Bronx. Stop playing with me. Don't play with me. But I would be Dominican 100% until we accept that we are Black.
Yes.
When we accept ourselves for who we are and love ourselves for who we are, then we can demand love from others.
Yes.
But we just here just throwing things, pero estamos en lo mismo, porque our own we haven't changed. It hasn't. We still in the same.
And going back to the anti-Blackness, and we're not gonna get into that in this topic in this episode, right? But that goes hand in hand with accepting disabilities, accepting otherness, right? So for those of us that are autism parents that are like pro disability, but they like look down on people that are queer, newsflash,
Yes.
you're literally being
Absolutely.
a hypocrite.
Absolutely.
Because I'm looking here, like while we were talking, I was looking up data. So it says that they did a study by Cambridge University, and it says autistic individuals are more likely to be LGBTQ plus than their non-autistic counterparts. And it says that there's a bunch of stuff written, but then it says there were sex differences in sexual orientation. Autistic males are 3.5 times more likely to identify as bisexual than non-autistic males, whereas autistic females are 3 times more likely to identify as homosexual than non-autistic females. So you having a child that is on the spectrum, your child could also be queer.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So giving love to one group and not giving love to the other, that's not creating an inclusive environment. We need to love our children how they are and accept them however they are.
My thing is, if you are not willing to accept whatever God sends you, don't have children. Then maybe that's not you. If you're having a child on the basis of gender and, because I mean, this comes from the beginning of time when, the prince, the king, the heir, the firstborn, all this nonsense, and stuff like that. No, if you want to be a parent, just be a parent to a child. Just be a good parent. But if you're gonna have, I agree with you. You can't. There's no. You don't pick and choose and be
you can't pick and choose what you're gonna advocate for.
Exactly. And I don't want this one. Switch it. No, you get what you get, and you don't get upset. And I always say, the apple doesn't fall far. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, darling. Yeah. So, before we look at our children and point the finger and be like, maybe we should look in ourselves, because clearly they got it from either mommy or daddy or both. Like anything from my kids, I can't be like, fue de mí que ellos salieron.
And let me tell you, a lot of the time when I meet the parents, especially my autistic kids, I'm like, oh, that's where they get it from. No, because then the parents will sit with me and they're like, my kid is not autistic. Exactly. I used to do that when I was and I'm looking at them like, interesting.
Or unfortunately, when the parents are separating or not, they blame the other one. They're like, no.
Oh my God, yeah.
Es de la familia de este. El hermano de este. Por eso que él está así. Por el tío. Eso no es de mi familia. What?
Like, who cares? Just accept and love your child for who they are.
Pero sin embargo, sorry, I don't mean to cut you, but sin embargo, especially I love my community, Latina community, Hispanic, whatever, but especially in our people, we tend to coddle the alcoholic in the family, the molester, the child molester, that part, the family. That part. They tend to coddle the drug dealer. Ay, ese mi hijo, ese mi sobrino. That they know. It's funny how they pick and choose. Yes. What they choose to coddle. Ay, ella no like, ayuda. Ay, la pobre que ya no sabe. But then the truth, like, no, eso no es así. Hay que, señores, hay un Dios. Dios dice, tenemos que amarnos y querernos como hermanos. Igual. Like, I love you the same. Like, all the beautiful things I want for me, I want for you. Yes. Because if you succeed, when I see you, it's like I'm succeed because I see myself in you. Like, oh my gosh, you look like me. Like, all my life, I've always searched, like people that look like me, that talk like me, because it was always a problem. Like, I never felt like, where do I fit in? Like, who am I? And I've discovered who I am, and I follow my tribe. The Purple Hearts is for that. Like, I estoy abajo a veces, pero I like to uplift other people, and I uplift myself, and I remind people, you know what, echándole porras, but it's really like, to me, it's symbolic. Like, it's my parents cheering me on if they were physically here, but I use it as a mechanism, the hearts for every, like, people that I love what they're doing, and just getting out there, you know, doing it. What you're doing is not easy, let me tell you. Like, you know, and you're doing a phenomenal job. I love hearing you talk. I love what you represent for your community, how you help the moms. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had a friend like her. You know, when I was like, all my tribe is in New York. Now that ahora que yo estoy en Florida,
I know.
toda mi gente de Nueva York, cuando yo llegue, vamos a tener un party. Es un party que tenemos que hacer para abrazarnos, mija.
Claro.
You know how many projects, but let me tell you how God works. I manifested you. This was to me the highlight of everything, because I'm my hardest critic. I'm working on it. You know, uplifting myself and speaking positive within myself and about myself. And let me tell you, I wrote this in my journal. I want it because I like to feel needed, or like included. Yeah. And again, not being in the classroom and I like to be a voice for those who don't have a voice, because I know what it's like as a mom, as me myself. I'm just starting to find my voice now, and I hear me roar, and I got things to say, and you know. So thank you for this opportunity, because I literally wrote in my journal, like, I wish one day she would invite me, because you know, to her amazing show. You know, I wish that when I was teaching, like, I could have told all my parents, listen, you gotta watch out. Mira, esta comadre mía, tú la tienes que ver, fenomenal. Ella está en Nueva York, pero mira, está heavy duty. So I want to thank you and everyone that watches you, and the people that know your son. I haven't met him. I love him. I be like, oh my God, like, because I'm like, oh my God, so cute, and oh my God, like, I get excited, just like when you get excited when they do new things or new accomplishments, new milestones. I love it, and like I said, I'm a mom. I love being a mom, and I'm proud of that. You know,
I'm the same way though. Like, with my students, like, I think about when I meet a kid, like, how would I want Aiden to be treated? And that's how I treat my students.
Absolutely.
I can't like be like, uy, este muchacho, and like be like, ay, echa pa allá. I can't like wholeheartedly in my heart, like, to be well with myself, I can't do that. And then another thing I wanted to touch on is that you talk about like working on finding your voice. I've done a lot of work around the throat chakra, and like, it was because I was silenced so much as a child. I was always told, like, no te metas en la cosa de adulto, don't say this, don't say that, calladita te ve más bonita. And let me tell you, I'm shaking the fucking tables. I'm putting Jesus over here. We're shaking the tables. We're gonna talk about the things that people don't like to hide, the things that people don't like to say, the things that are not cute and that they're not pretty. Absolutely. Because those things need to be said so that we, as a community, can grow and we can heal.
Exactly. And I hope that whoever watches this, especially boys, girls, men, women, whoever, it doesn't matter, humans, all of, like, I just want them to know that they're not alone, that I am considered what society calls an adult, and I'm still figuring it out. Yeah. And I'm figuring it out without my parents. And also that, and I'm not trying to sound whatever. Like I said, I don't like being like tienen todo lo malo. I want to offer good. Yo quiero ofrecer cosas buenas. Porque ya lo malo está ahí. Ya está ahí. Ya está ahí. A mí no me interesa esto, porque ya there's too many competition. I'm not, that's not my thing. I want to bring good. I want to be good. I want girls and boys to have a good self-image and have, you know, with this diagnosis, I've changed my whole way of life, eating, exercise. It's a lifestyle. It's things that were generational trauma and breaking things that no longer serve us, and actually introducing healthy and good things, positive self-image, loving ourselves, our skin. We don't have to wear tons of makeup. Like, we're beautiful the way we are, especially for young girls. It's like I said, I have daughters, you know, and everything I do with my music, they all approve it. Like, you know, it goes through them, everything that I do, because I am their first example.
Yeah.
It's to my children. And I want them, I always say to myself, wow, I have to take care of me because my daughters are watching me. They're watching everything I put in my mouth, everything that I eat, how I talk. Even if I don't want them to do that, they still do. Because
they're still going to be watching regardless, always watching. Our kids are always watching.
Always watching. And when we think that they don't know, they do know. Please
if you think your kid is a little shit, you got to look at what you do as a person that has taught them that.
Exactly. What exactly is always go to the bathroom, look in the mirror. What did I do? Mm-hmm. What did I do? Or the other parent, because
or if they are like copying or mimicking somebody else's behavior,
exactly.
What have you done that you have not taught your child to use discernment with respect to what other people are doing and what they're imitating?
Exactly.
Have you addressed that? But yeah, like this conversation was super necessary.
Yes.
I'm here looking at the more stats. You know, I'm a stats girl, so
I love it. It's data. I love it because, you know, the school system, they're all about data.
So data. It says 2 in 5 transgender adults have a disability, and 1 in 4 LGBTQ plus people are queer. No wait, yeah, no wait. 1 in 4 LGBTQ plus adults have a disability as well. So it is important to treat everybody with kindness and love, like literally.
That's exactly
you never know. Like you never know. You have to, especially the bullying part. Like there's bullying for disabilities and there's bullying for queerness. We need to teach our children not to bully. The kids are not born excluding people. They learn that from us.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And even if they don't learn it from us, you need to start having these hard conversations regarding that. There is no fucking LGBTQ agenda. They're not trying to convert your children into gay people. I really that really fucking bothers me.
I know.
I'm like, yes, all the gay people have this notebook that when they're born, they give it to them and they're like, let's convert everybody to being gay. No, there's no agenda.
There is none.
Y'all need to stop with that stuff.
It's just stop and you know, oh my gosh, and you know what, God, sex, like I don't even know, Señor, ¿por dónde yo empiezo, Jesucristo? ¿Por aquí o por allá?
Because the thing is, like, why do you care what people are doing in the bedroom? Eso es lo que yo te iba a decir.
Mira, yo te digo, mira, yo estoy feliz en mi vida. En mi vida. Lo que tú hagas en privado, después que no sea haciéndole daño a un inocente, menor de edad.
Consensual.
Exactamente. Pero después de eso, porque a mí lo que yo hago con mi esposa, mira, y se mete, that's nobody's business. That's
Listen,
private.
If you like to tickle a balloon while somebody's watching you, like, that's your business. As long as you're with a consenting adult,
absolutely,
that should not bother anybody at all.
But like I said, they select what bothers them and what doesn't. And sometimes it's because they're not educated on the topic or because they were not explained the truth or the facts about certain things. And there's this taboo around sex. Like sex is the bad thing. Like it's like, ooh, or whatever. You know, the same way I have a healthy sex life with my husband, I want my daughters to also have healthy sex lives, and I talk to them about it, and I do. I do talk, you know, and
you're supposed to. You're the first example of like appropriate, healthy love and sex. Like obviously, you're not having sex in front of your children, but you're the first example, the person that they need to ask.
Absolutely.
If you don't teach your children, they're going to get weird examples from out there. Teach them. Or they're going to learn it from porn, which is even freaking worse.
It's even worse. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I was brought up, my parents were strict. Eso no tiene que ver que iglesia, porque una religión no salva a nadie, y en iglesia tampoco. Señores, es la fe. Anyway, so I have to teach my daughters, my children, that my son too, I'm slowly, telling him and talking to him. It has to come from me because someone else is going to teach them.
Yes.
They're gonna
You
learn
don't
it.
want your kids to learn it from porn, because porn is like, first of all, fucking horrible, and it teaches fucking violence against women.
Absolutely.
Because like the way that the women are treated in pornographic movies is like really, really bad.
Exactly.
You don't want your kid to go around talking to women like that.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of men out there, grown ass adult men, that still don't know how to treat a woman because all their examples of sex have come from movies.
Exactly.
So it's like we're failing them as parents. We can't we can't just like look away like, oh my God, sex doesn't exist.
And in the culture,
no lo haga.
They
Ellos lo van a hacer.
They over-sexualize a las niñas de chiquita. Tú tienes novio. Ay, esto. Ay, que. Y dejan y saben que los hombres están mirando a las niñas porque la están mirando así si son niñas, pero no dicen nada. Ahí no dicen nada. Cuando
no, they don't say nothing. Oh, mira, viene fulano. Somebody's coming to your house. Your dad's friend's coming to the house. Your uncle's coming to the house. Put on some clothes. Why? Why are we doing that?
Or forcing our children. Si los hijos de uno no quiere compartir con una persona o una persona.
No, we don't do that. Not
uno
over
no
here.
Forzado. Bésale la mano.
Nope.
Ese es tu tío. Ese es tu padrino. Como obligado.
No.
Sin saber. That's
kids
happened.
know. Kids know.
It's happened.
If your child is resistant to somebody, it's for a reason. Please respect their wishes.
Yeah, it happened to me. I was silenced for so long. I was sexually abused by relatives that my parents trusted. That's what made it even hard. Effed up because they really, my parents did really trust them, and that was really sad. And it's not always a stranger. It's not the neighbor.
It's almost never a stranger. It's almost never a stranger.
You know what's the saddest? Al que yo le decía, porque era mi padrino de agua. Papi, bendición, como un papá. Okay. Así es que son un consejo que yo le doy a todos allá afuera, es que con los hijos no sean así.
Especially with our kids with special needs. Like, I don't even know how we got to sexual abuse. I'm sorry.
I know.
Trigger warning, sexual abuse. But
yeah, sorry. But it also needs to be discussed because just like me, I know there's kids out there, and especially children with special needs that are nonverbal. Because if it happened to me and I was verbal in English and Spanish, it can happen. And I don't want that to happen to anybody.
Wait, Puchi, can we talk about like the video that went viral? Like, was it last summer? Okay, last summer a video went viral of a young man who was 20 in one of those residential homes. The paraprofessional was kissing him and recording it, and but he's a grown man. I get it, he was nonverbal and he could have given consent, but the thing that rubbed me the wrong way was the fact that she was recording it and posting it. Like, if that's your boyfriend, they're okay. So what I felt about that was that she was grooming him in a way, because she's taking advantage of her position of power to put herself in a vantage point where he's gonna feel a certain way about her, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying no, they're not entitled to be happy, they're not entitled to be in love. That's cool. Is that your boyfriend? We don't know. But the thing is, there's a way and a moment for everything.
For everything.
My thing is is he really consenting to that? Of course, there was this grand debate. I brought it up to my compadre. Shout out to Ishmael. I brought it up to my compadre. I brought it up to some of my other friends that have children with special needs. Who has a daughter with special needs. He was actually on the show before. And they're like, well, as a man, go him, he's getting a girl that's older. But I'm like, he's still a kid. In my mind, he's still a child. She's taking advantage of him in a way. I don't know. We just need to be careful with our children and teaching them that about consent. Consent is so important, especially for kids on this with disabilities. So We need to teach them that a no is a full, complete sentence. You don't need to give anybody any reasoning behind that. And this is like neurotypical or typical children.
I was just
gonna say neurodiverse or typical children.
I was
it doesn't matter.
Say that. It doesn't matter.
No is no.
No is no. And even
if it's not a fuck yes, like hell yeah, then it's an absolute no. If you have to like think about it and be like, maybe, yeah, no, that's a no.
And the reason why it's so important that we talk to them is about it and teach them, especially the nonverbal. Because like I said, my daughter, I'm still sending her to a daycare with adults and other kids that I'm not watching what's happening. So it's not just with adults, it could be amongst peers.
Yes.
Children that are being, abused and,
they act out and they do those things.
Absolutely. Because they're still children. Hello, they're still children. They don't know. Okay. They don't know any different. So they're just doing what they've been taught to do. And they think it's okay and they think it's normal. So yeah, it's not just with adults. It's also with peers. Like, if someone touches them inappropriately or tells them to do certain things and they don't feel comfortable with not doing that, they don't have to do anything they don't want to, or some way to find help to like say, hey. So it can happen in any age group. So parents cannot be like, oh, no, en mi casa no. En esa escuela no, porque esa escuela, mija, es de rico. Ahí no pasa esa cosa. Let me just tell you, I've worked in the hood. I've worked in good schools, bad schools, rich schools that I knew I could never afford to send my kids or myself to go. Okay, all from up and down. And I've seen it all. So it happens everywhere. It's not like, it happens throughout. That's why it's better for parents to teach our kids, educate them, especially the nonverbal children, because they are more vulnerable. And that's...
I want to, sorry, Puchi, to interrupt you. I just want to say that, like, we're not equating sexual abuse and LGBTQ plus stuff, right?
No.
We're just talking about consent, period. Like, doesn't matter your sexual orientation. Like, these are conversations that need to be had, just like we have to have conversations about such sexual orientation with our children. And being accepting of everybody, regardless of their abilities, right? So absolutely. This is all going around the topic of love and how do we include everyone, So this is why we're touching on these other different topics, because I feel like it's all interlaced. As people, we need to like embrace everybody for who they are and love them how they are, regardless of like what their sexual orientation is, what their level of abilities are, whether they're functioning like everybody else or not,
Absolutely.
So that's really what it's about.
Absolutely. And I think the more, like I said, the culture is definitely going in the right direction. And I love it because it's not like before, like I said, more like hush hush, and now it's a little louder, a little brighter, and it's more, but it should be much more louder, because we've existed. We are differently able people. We've always existed.
Yeah.
This is not something new. So people are acting because now we're talking about it, as opposed to before everybody
somebody told me, I had Tiffany from the Color of Autism Foundation on, and she's like, because people want to tell me like, oh, this is new, this disability stuff is new. And then she's like, you know what? I just start to ask them, that uncle of yours that never moved out of your grandma's house and used to live in the back room and watching TV, and he would never hang out and he wouldn't go to the family functions. That's your autistic uncle.
Hello. Y el chequecito que recibía la abuelita para cuidar de los hijos a fulanceja, ella no lo estaba haciendo por gratis.
Hello.
A ella le estaban pasando el chequecito. Así que para el cheque saben, pero para la necesidad del niño no saben, no entienden cuándo y quién dijo eso, en qué momento. No, like, that's what I mean about
regarding the disabilities. And you know what? Also, they do this a lot, the mental health. They want to deny, like,
goodness,
like the kids have a mental health issue, and then they're like, esta es la primera vez que nosotros, nadie en la familia. Okay, come on.
Mira, no te ponga a decir cosas de la casa, te doy 2 galletas. Si a mí me mandan un social work a mi casa, mira. Si a mí me llaman para estar preguntándome. Well, that was my mom. She's like, you better not
but
say.
This is us healing generation.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when we start healing, we heal, is it 3 or 5 generations? It's a number. It's like, I want to say 5. 5 generations ahead and 5 generations behind. So the work that we're doing now as a collective is influencing so much, and we're changing the narrative. Like,
absolutely.
Even the way we parent our children, I want to say, like, I am the parent that I needed when I was a little girl.
Me too.
And I'm proud to say that about myself, because I've been through some bullshit. I've been through some things, and I haven't let those things define me, and it has catapulted me to change the way that I parent. And yes, I am doing, like, what is that thing called now? Soft parenting. I am soft parenting, but also, like, if I need to put my foot down, I'm gonna put my foot down.
Oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
one thing we're not gonna do, we're not gonna be walking all over your parent.
Yeah. What I have taken away from, well, first of all, I am a super duper mental health advocate. I'm not only a client, I get therapy twice a week. I'm very proud of that. It is what it is. Can't live without it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And it's made me a better person, a better parent, because instead of me trying to gobernar y decirle a otro qué tiene que hacer con su vida, yo me estoy diciendo yo gobernarme a mí y diciéndome a mí lo que tengo que hacer con mi vida, porque eso es, especialmente, no, vamos a hablar claro, especialmente nosotros la dominicana, la mamá dominicana, no, yo soy la que mando, lo que yo diga, ley. Yo no, my kids know I grew up with Tupac and Biggie. I'm from Felon, Cedric, Burnside Avenue. They already know, and their father too. So, hello, I need to check myself. Yeah. Yo tengo que arreglarme yo internamente y amarme yo, porque I think our insecurities as parents come from generation and what we want to be our parents. Yes. I learned I'm not my mother. Yes. I've embraced and I've taken from her all the beautiful things and all the lovely things that were good for me. Pero lo demás,
se puede quedar para allá
mismo. Galletas, tirando chancletas. Yo no, a mis hijos,
listen,
yo nunca le puse la mano.
Because, or like talking, like, I was the one to, like, she would say something and I would, like, be so angry, and because I couldn't say anything to her, yo le tricaba.
You see?
Yo le tricaba a ella, right? I used to be like, I'm like making a face behind her back. I got caught a couple of times. Eso sí. She slapped the taste out of my mouth, but I never want to be the parent that my kid has to do that. Like,
no.
I never want to be the parent that my kid doesn't feel like they're comfortable having a conversation if I fucked up. Because the thing is, I'm human. I know I'm not perfect.
Hello.
So if I fuck up, I want my kid to be like, sit down and be like, Mommy, I didn't like that.
And call you. My kids, the first thing they do is call me for everything. Everything now. But it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't always like that. I've gone through a lot mentally, like grieving my parents. I took care of I was working full-time as a teacher. I had my son, I had my daughters, my husband, and taking care of both my parents were sick at the same time.
Damn, yo, I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you.
That must have been hard.
I never stopped. Like, it was just, when you just go,
keep going.
And my body, it got to, like, after my mom died, my body said, okay, we're done. And my body, that's what happened.
It shut down.
It shut down, But, and I had to literally learn how to live again. And I say, oh my God, how am I going to live like this in pain and whatever? And I learned to learn to love myself, take it one day at a time. And then I started with my mental health and the trauma therapy. Regular counseling is not the same as a trauma therapist. Believe me, it's a big difference. So I just want to put that out there. because I've done it all. I've done the counseling, a little here, there, and which is all good. It's all good. Anything positive that you look for is good. It's in the right direction. But trauma therapy is totally different. It's like you really doing the work. And I realized,
it's like you're going into the crevices of the house and like deep cleaning. Like
it's hard because you're facing your fears, your demons, all the things that you're afraid of, all the things that happened to you. I had to go back and deal from the things that happened that I never told. They were things my mom never knew that happened to me. So si yo puedo dejar unas madres, los padres allá afuera, que tu hijo te tenga miedo o que te tenga temor, no es algo que tú digas, mira, un premio, ay, yo soy lo máximo porque mis hijos me tienen miedo.
No, man.
Eso es lo más triste. Eso es lo más triste, que tu hijo te tenga miedo de decir, mira, mami, me están haciendo esto. Mami, me están haciendo un daño. No.
Wait, can I talk to you about this TikTok that I saw? There was this Asian young woman that she was playing with something and she got cut. And her first reaction, instead of getting her mom, was she started panicking because she was bleeding. And she was like trying to clean it up.
Oh my God.
Dude. Like, do you understand how that would have been my response when I was a little kid?
Yeah, I know. I could totally relate to that. To be a perfectionist to our parents.
So fucked up.
To sit right, sit pretty, always do the right thing.
Oh my God.
And
or like you get hurt and you're like apologizing because you're inconveniencing the person.
I'm still apologizing. I'm still to this day, I am learning the verbiage to stop apologizing because I can't help it. This is me. I have a lot going on. But when I show up, I'm here. I'm present. I'm yours. I give you everything. But you're going to have to accept, that there's a lot of things that come with that. And it's not because yo me estoy dando cerveza or I'm chilling or, I'm dropping it like it's hot. I'm putting it on the floor. Maybe I'm putting something on the floor, ice pack, a heating pad on the floor, but I'm not. ¿Tú me entiendes?
Yeah.
Que no it's not a disrespect because it's different. Because everybody should be, their time is valuable. Your time is valuable. We should respect each other. That we, just because I'm differently able or I have a disability doesn't excuse me from the norm, from everyone else's time. But I'm not going to apologize. But I do. It's something I'm learning. Like, no, I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm so happy I made it. Instead of like, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm
sorry you're waiting for me. Thank you. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you so much for waiting, for being so patient. That's so kind of you.
Thanks for being flexible.
Thank you for being so understanding. It's just simple. Why can't we talk to each other like that? Like, back in the day, my cousin would be like, you sound like a white girl talking like that. But it's just called, it's called talking. You know what I mean? Like, you would get things like, ¿por qué tú estás hablando así? ¿Y qué te pasa? Yeah. Are you a white girl? Why are you talking? Okay. But, it's crazy. But I just want everybody out there to know that, no, my children don't fear me yet. I know where my kids are all the time. I know what they're doing. I know what I know what they're wearing because I dress them. They call me. I style them. The relationship I have now with adults, because remember, once my kids become adults, I get to wear what kind of parent you are. I love that my kids hang out with me. I chill with my kids. My kids are my tribe. They are my crew. They are my camera crew. They are my technology. They are my biggest fans. And I love it. And they are vice versa. Everything, when I told them about you, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like amazing. And I can't wait. They were like, Mom, just be yourself. Just breathe, Mom, breathe. I'm like, okay, I'm breathing. I mean, I love my kids. Mira, tú nunca me vas a encontrar en coro de que con mujeres, de que hablando de gente, de boche. Tú me vas a encontrar con mis hijos.
Yeah.
I love it with my husband. Look, I want to do this. I want to talk here. I have a podcast. I want to sing. All the things they told me I couldn't do. And people are going to look at me and be like, pero ¿a dónde tú vas a cantar la Puchi? Pero mija, ya tu tiempo pasó. No, mi amor. You know why? Because God is the one that tells me what I can do.
Yes. I love that. Yes.
I'm not out here looking for trying to have money or, for money or for because I want popularity or because I want to be accepted. Like, I got everything I want. I got God in my life, first of all. God is good. I'm alive. I have beautiful children. I'm a mom. I have an amazing husband who treats me like a queen. I have my home. Tengo mango. Tengo una mata de coco. I have my dog. Hello. So when I'm singing and acting and dancing, it's because I love it. It's how I feel alive.
Yeah, and it's icing on the cake for you.
It's icing on the cake for me because I still get to do what I love. And it reminds me that I'm still here, even though I'm in pain and even though life is not how I wished it was, but I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for that. So I'm grateful for all of it because it brought me here to you. It brought me to you and it brought me to your audience. And I just want to just say, just pursue your dreams, love yourself, and good does prevail. I know it's a lot of crazy things out there, but there are people that want to do good and don't have any bad intentions in return. Yo lo que quiero es cantar a los niños. I want to go to schools. That's what I want to go back to my community because I have a community base here, but I feel like my work has to be done back home.
Yeah.
That's what I'm speaking with you. I want to share with people that I know and the people in our neighborhoods that maybe don't have the same, information that I've learned and experienced. So I want to reach out to them and say, look, if I'm from right here, right here, and my husband too, right, same place. And look where we are today.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, God, family first, and you can do positive even though you're differently able.
Yeah.
You can do good even though you have mental health. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it. You can have obstacles and still achieve your dreams in your own way. Yeah. You don't have to follow anybody or what they're doing. Just follow your heart and be good.
So I want to summarize how you can be a better advocate for your child, whether they're differently abled or LGBTQ plus, or just your neurotypical child, right?
Yeah, or health issues, or just, anything.
Yeah, anything. Like just to be a better parent and a better advocate for your children. First of all, listen to your children.
Yes.
Keep that open line of communication and make sure that you're operating from a place of love, that your children do not fear you, right? There's no way that you can advocate for your child if your child is afraid of you as a person. You're not a fucking monster, like you're a parent. And your children should feel that if anything were to happen in their life, that the first person that they need to come to is you. Na fulanita la amiga, na fulanito el amigo. Right?
Absolutely.
So in order to support our children that are differently able and LGBTQ plus, we need to keep that open line of communication and let them know that there's nothing they can do that will make you love them any less. Never, ever in their life. Okay? Another thing is that, advocating for them besides the fact, like, your circle of people, like, if there's family members that don't jive with who your child is, you can remove them from the equation. No importa.
Absolutely. Loco, I do it all the time.
Puede ser el Papa de Roma. I don't care. If Aiden does not vibe with that person, they are not going to be around my child. Period, point blank. I don't care who you are.
And that's exactly what you should do. And as mothers, as parents, that's exactly what we need to be doing. Protecting our children.
Protect your child. Protect your child. Respect them. Even if they aren't verbal, nonverbal, whatever. Like, listen to your children. They will tell you. They have a third, like a sixth sense about people. So if your child gets uncomfortable around certain people, then they don't need to be around your child.
And it doesn't matter if they're relatives or anything like that. That doesn't.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Puchi, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so glad you were on.
I'm so glad I'm on. Oh my gosh. I love you so much. I just want to say, okay, because I'm learning this whole thing, this podcast thing. So my bullet points are, for everyone watching, follow me on my YouTube, my music, La Puchi. Visit my website, www.lapuchiscloset.com. And follow me on Instagram, Puchi13 and La Puchi's Closet.
Yay! Okay. And follow me at Comadreando Pod on IG, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere.
Yes.
Follow the Facebook page. Wait, is there? Yes, Facebook page. And then you know the deal. If you want to contact me, slide up into my DMs or send me a Comadre-Gram via email at marcy@comadreandopod.com. Please visit our website to read our latest blog posts and find out about future events and to get your official Comadre merch. Thank you for spending time with your comadres.
I love it. Thank you.
A comadre.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel so honored. I love it. I'm official comadre. Finally, my dream came true. Thank you so much.
And with that, we're going to end the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Mom, just one more